I could start us off.
Yeah.
So while we were on set, I was coming down with something,
Yeah.
and I didn't know it at the time, but it was a lot worse than I thought. But for me, it was sure I may be feeling poorly, but I'm getting to do exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so that it's like I could not wake up tomorrow, but like I did it, you know? And so that for me was just, it doesn't matter if I'm sick, I'm here, I showed up,
Yeah.
I'm having fun, let's rock and roll.
Yeah. And I had no idea too.
I know.
You were a trooper. You told me at the very end, you're like, sorry, I was sick. I was like, what?
I know, you said that to me too. I was like, I didn't even feel that.
So that's why I got sick.
I was
right
about to
now.
I know, you got
What, what about when I was like, where's my pink drink? Anybody see my pink drink?
Where's my pink drink?
Don't drink that. Oh yeah, I finished that for you.
Right.
Get that out of the way.
What was in that pink drink? Little
Airborne.
vodka.
Just Pedialyte. It was just Pedialyte. That's all. it was.
John was sipping Bo, huh? Just kidding.
So yeah, being sick on set, but still making the most of it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think for me it was like because I'm producing it and doing so many for indie film, doing so many wearing so many hats. There was like towards the end, the table scene is when I kind of like felt the burnout, and I was like, okay, you know, I almost forgot to give you like your makeup change.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
Chad's
then
like,
the head,
wait,
yeah.
are we doing a makeup change? He like kind of reminded me and kind of
Yeah.
like, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was kind of like fading, like, you know, forget.
Oh,
Like,
the
do we need it?
eyelashes, yeah.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
eyelashes and we really needed that. And I remember Chad kind of was like, we need this, we need to get it. I
Yeah.
was like, thanks, Chad. So I kind of was like burnt out at this point, and we're running out. You know, towards the end, we were kind of felt like we were running out of time at that point, and it's like
Yeah.
whatever, just get the shot, you know.
Yeah.
So having like a good support system, like we all were like really good collaborating and supporting each other in our different positions and knowing like what we're doing as far as working on an indie set. So it was really, really great to work with everybody and everyone bringing what they could to an indie set. Like obviously it's not like a big budget. There's a lot of, you know, hats that we're all wearing. So that was helpful. So thanks, Chad, for that, and everybody, because we're all like we're helping each other.
Yeah.
So even you were helping me too. We're feeding off each other's energy. When I was like, because it's like 12-hour days, and you're like going and going. And before that, I'm doing pre-pro the whole time.
Yeah.
So getting on set and like we're feeding off each other, and you're helping me like, okay, we need this, we need that, you know. So yeah, we did good getting our shots and what we did need and what we didn't need. Because there was a point, and I feel like on every set there's a point where you're like, oh shit, we're running out of time. We need to like decide and drop some things. So, and then you catch up somehow and make it in the end, I feel like. But yeah, that's my.
Yeah, I do feel like on like indie film sets and stuff like that, and just like smaller film sets in general, like a script supervisor is like so important, but there's also like elements to like a bigger production. Like you got makeup also keeping track of things and like stuff, and I feel like that's one of those kind of jobs where like everyone on set on this indie film set has to kind of like keep an eye out for like
These
oh
little
yeah
things,
like oh yeah, your character had this thing like on your chin like and it's not there anymore, you know, like stuff like that. I think it's very important because it's one of those things that I feel like we have to like really kind of cut the role of because we, you know, it's like the hat, it's like the one hat that everyone has to wear, I feel like, in a way, on the indie film set.
You kind of have to like protect the project in that nature.
Yeah.
Because like everyone is like, we all are doing a handful of things at once, but for the most part, it's like, wait, continuity wise, we're all here for a reason. We all understand film. Like, if this is in the script, why isn't it on camera right now? And so it's like, it's like kind of an unspoken agreement on crew on smaller
even
sets.
if you have like a script supervisor who is there to do that, it's like that's still just one person.
I think it's almost a blessing
it's
though,
hard
because usually, like you said, if there's a script supervisor, then you're counting that person like, oh well, they'll tell me or they'll figure it out. But when you don't have that, it can be a blessing because then it forces you to be much more present, much more conscious, which makes the work better for everyone involved. And then, I mean, there's even points where, remember the continuity with the towel you had over, which arm to have it on? Like, it was on this arm.
We had to go back to that.
Yeah. But there's just things like that it forces you to be present, but that's what gives you the best work.
Yeah. And that's
It's just
why
being, like,
I'm
on your A
releasing
game.
an AI script supervisor to replace all the script supervisors out there. Because
That's
they
true.
are, they don't need to be in the workforce. They don't need jobs. But that's my project I'm working on. Just a shameless plug. All right. Anyway.
I think like having, there's benefits to both, but I think like what makes it more fun on an independent film is like that sense of intimacy that everyone like shares is like, we're all trying to make this the best project possible. So if it's like, if the character needs a mole by their eye, and if it's not by their eye by the second scene of the day, it's like, yo, we need to get that mole there just to like keep this film what it is, and so it just like creates that layer of like intimacy for all cast and crew to be able to like create a beautiful project. So
I love that intimate. Yeah, it makes it intimate.
Takes a village mentality.
Yeah, you guys did really good with the continuity, by the way. I know you had more continuity because you were just like carrying things.
You had props all the time.
Yeah, you had props, and you did really good at doing that, like remembering which arm. Because some actors don't even pay attention because they don't know about the edit as much, So I'm like, dang, you did really good, Chad. I'm like, thank you for.
I love watching that in movies and shows when it's
missed,
or when it's so like
it's pretty.
It'll be like Brad Pitt eating like shrimp cocktail. The next thing is like nachos. You're like, what happened? Like sometimes it's like crazy how bad it is.
It's like, how do they get away with that on these big sets? I'm like, you guys have a whole script. Do you?
Yeah. I don't know.
Starbucks.
Yes.
Game of Thrones.
On Inheriting Hood, I mean, separate movie. You guys should all check that out too, from Katrina. But there was a moment where we were doing the dinner scene, and everyone was eating and actually drinking, and I was like, bro, like we can't be eating all this food, because I was like literally looking at the close-ups, and I was like, damn, no one's eating, and no one like on their close-up, but like on the wide, everyone's all
like,
and I was like, damn, where were y'all on the close-up though? Like the drink was filled on the wide, and then it was empty on the close-up. I was like, damn, like I noticed that in ours, but also I look for that in other ones. And it's fun to see like little, oh yeah, wow, they got Brad Pitt like drinking a drink and he's talking on his and then the next one he's like laying back and he's like not even touching.
It's just
the body.
You see it, and but on on ours it was just like a lot more fun to be able to play with that, but it's more, I don't know, enjoyable when you guys do know those beats and like you guys want to be conscious of those little intricacies of the
cheeseburger.
film.
I had to like make sure.
Same hand?
Well, not even same hand, but like it had to look about the same amount of bites. So like that big bite had to look the same big bite every time.
Sure.
For your
You
next
brought me
burger.
a couple of
Right.
cheeseburgers.
And
And you're okay, the next
two
one. I'm
or
like,
three of them.
After lunch too?
It was after lunch.
Oh, shoot.
Hella
Yeah, we
full.
should have planned that one.
Yeah, the cheeseburger continuity. That was a thing too.
I would say one of the most like useful books I've read on acting was like Michael Caine's book on acting. It's like this thick, and it's literally just talking about stuff like that. Like it's not even like talking about like, I mean, there are portions of it talking about like the actual like method or whatever, but mainly it's just about like the difference between this on stage and this on film, and just like keeping in mind those things, because like like I make like comedy skits, and like I hate it when I do like a more like thought out one, and then like there's a thing of continuity, and I'm like, ah, shit. And then I have to like refilm it, but fortunately it's in my own time, so I can refilm it. But like, so it's definitely something. I found it was like a really good resource, especially for people wanting to do more acting, like on film, to like have that one, especially because it's such a nice book to put in the backpack. Yeah, it's a great one. It's very useful. It's stuff that you don't
practical.
Really think about. Yeah, exactly.
It's very practical, which.
That's crazy that he talks about that though, because he's like on bigger budget sets. It's almost like you guys always have to like be aware of it, I guess, at some point, even at the bigger budget sets. That's
like which hand you open the door with,
and
then do that for every single scene. It's almost like a tricky balance between like what can you like change in the take with how you deliver it, and what parts you kind of have to commit to. You know? So
because you can't film two completely different takes and be like, fix it in post.
Yeah, like I do a back handspring through this door, and this one I walk through it on the other shot. Yeah.
The next one you come in, spread eagle.
Spread eagle. I was gonna say.
Have you seen a compilation of Zach Galifianakis like entering like the Late Show, like for an interview? And my favorite one is he just like falls from the ceiling. It's so great. You should look it up.
So next podcast, that's how he wants to enter into his seat,
Yeah.
like The
Just pull it
Simpsons.
in.
Yeah.
Crane it in.
Yeah. It's a couch gag. Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Well, I'll be back.
thanks. You're the best kidnapper ever, or should I say, love napper? I should copyright that.